Welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Trade Sharp, and welcome to today's update. We're gonna have a look over Rune, see if price targets have hit, and it should be great video. Interesting things here on Bitcoin on the chart. We have closed the monthly. What am I expecting, right? So I've been telling you this for a few days, and if you've been watching, good on you. You know, we've been making some great calls. Shout out to some amazing alts and stuff like that. So please, if you're new here, we make daily updates. Like and subscribe the video as well. It helps me out and helps the channel out. So that's great. So looking, we did make a monthly, and I always tell you guys we need to make a lower wick, right? Wicks are important. When a candle opens, it needs to make a bottom wick. This has made a bottom wick, but how deep can this bottom wick get? That's the question, right? Sometimes we see bottom, wicks, they get pretty deep, halfway mark, or they can be something like this, right? But what's interesting is we have closed the monthly above the last wick, which is good, means we're not closing at resistance, which I like to see. On top of that, I want to bring up the Bollinger Bands just as a good reference. And, where's this Bollinger Band coming in at 52,000? All right, that's interesting. I do think that this Bollinger Band will get dragged up and then start touching the bottom of this monthly candle, but we could have some downside pressure until it makes a little bit of a bigger wick. I would expect a little bit of a bigger wick, to be honest, this, this far into the cycle. So let's go back on the lower time frames and have a look what we've got on the lower time frames here. So you can see, let's remove these Bollinger Bands, that the daily is, it's in a range, right? This candle you can basically black out, means nothing happened on in that candle. Today we're popping up in a very ugly range here, and I don't really like it at all. We'll have a look at CMEs in a minute. Actually, let's jump on CMEs now. And CMEs did confirm the breakout, but again, not much volume. I do think that this is not a confirmed breakout, and you would have seen it continue from up in here, but there is definitely still a very big possible chance we just continue up from here, and I'm going to show you what underlying conditions will deem that. So going on the lower time frames, such as the hour, we can see we had this pump, this big sell-off here, which was profit taking, and then we got reaccumulated and started going back up, rejected at the top of the range, classic, and now really in a really boring sideways consolidation. Nothing much happening at all. Uh, I bet people will be calling this a diamond pattern, right? You have this line here, and then the one from here to here, and then this here to here, this here to here. And, the breakout, you take it like this. I bet the breakout is going to bring us to either this resistance here, or it's going to take us to the top of the range. That's how it normally works. But let's have a look. So bottom of the candle to there. And where is it taking us? Top of the range, right? It's simple stuff. Right? That's why I draw the lines, right? So don't worry about any old diamond pattern. Just keep in mind if we break above here, 59,671, I do see upside continuation. Even if we take out this wick, I might see upside continue back up towards all-time high. Small pullback there, to be honest. Now to the downside, if we don't break this structure here, then I'm not bearish. But if we break this structure, I would be looking for, a move to come down to this wick at minimum. So we would come down, tap this wick here. I think, see, since this area is already tested, right? You see this wick has tested this area. It hasn't acted as good support. So high chance when we do break this area on a closure, we'll probably come to fill this wick and probably go to our next support, which is down here around in this area between 56 and 55,000, which I think is a very plausible thing. And I would be looking at that area as a good basing area for price to continue up and onwards. And I might be interested in that area, depends on the market sentiment, right? But that is definitely a possibility, and I wanted to relay that to you. So let's go have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, on the other hand, finally is starting to get moved. Look at this break and retest, guys, here. So we had this, we bounced here. We came up, right, to our next resistance, rejected at that resistance, now came down and flipped its support, which is great. Now we're coming to the top side of our range, seeing a small sell-off here. We tried 1, 2, 3 times to break this area, and if we do get a closure, I do see continuation. Let's start to deem these areas a lot better. Go back on the 4 hours now that we have clear structure. So now this will actually be moved here like so, and this can be moved up here. break below here, we're coming back down to 17, but it doesn't look like. I do maybe think if Bitcoin does decide to do that pullback, we do come back down to this 1860 area. But on the other hand, I do think if we close above this pivot here at 1946, we're going to go tackle all-time high. I don't see why not. We'll go draw a nice pivot in there like so. It's nice to see Ethereum moving again. You know, it's great. Everyone's been saying Ethereum's dead. That doesn't look dead to me at the moment. So, you know, this is looking great. Playing off this area now. One more pullback if Bitcoin decides to pull back. If not, this is also going to go tackle all-time high. Nice price action on this. Nice movement. Nice to see Ethereum almost back at that 2000 number. So let's go and check out the alt of the day, which was Rune, and let's see how this is going, right? So we did hit, I believe I did set a target directly at this area here of 8.6 was my target on my previous video. You can go back test that and look, we did hit the target perfectly, 8.7 now, and 8.6 was my target in my previous video. I did say if we broke this support here, we would come down. I said possibility all the way down to here, but now we can remove these line and this comes here. I said anywhere between here. I said if we were breaking this low here, then I see major issues in the chart, and we didn't. And if you look at that, it is a higher low, right? And if you guys all, were to see a higher low, then you could have taken this beautiful trade and understand that the chart was very bullish and I was hitting some of my price targets. So since this is pumping like crazy, I want to, it's very possibility that we can keep going. Look at momentum. Stokes, daily Stokes are looking like they want to cross down, but it can spend some time up here, right? So we could see a little bit of a cross down sell off exactly in the area where I was talking about. And now we can check some new price predictions, which will be interesting. If we take it from this base here to here, where are we getting? Yep, right at the area. So I would expect a little bit of a sell-off here. And now let's check from the base to there and let's get some long-term predictions, right? After having a tiny sell-off, I do think we will start to go up till high chance we have a possibility to come up to that $10 mark, right? So looking here, we, at the same time, on the other hand, guys, we could pull back all the way back to 6.4 here without any issues. I mean, look at that. That's definitely a possibility. On the 4 hour, we do have these nice order blocks here. So if I was to get a pullback here, pullback would probably come in somewhere around here. If we do break this area, we're going to be supported by here, probably accumulate and then do one of these, right? And we can look for trade opportunities in those areas. So I'll definitely keep you updated. But if you've been holding Rune and listening that the price chart was bullish, this is your payment. This is the cookie you get. Hope you enjoy the cookie. And with that being said, I'll leave you that. Take care, trade sharp, and until tomorrow.